What is up, squad? Welcome to Muscle Mastery. Today, we are talking about how to deal with the challenges that you might face as you try to build muscle or tone your body. So, this is not for beginners. This is for those of you that have learned how to create a calorie surplus, so you're eating more than your body burns, so we can put on more muscle, more size, more mass. You've learned how long you need to diet for, but diets don't always go into plan, and there are a few things that are more than likely to come up as you're going through this process, and things that I've heard as a coach, because 67% of people do not have success when it comes to a muscle building diet. And I'm going to give you like the top three that clients usually come to me and how I help them out. Number one is fitting the right macros, because dieting for muscle gain can be hard. It took me 3 years to put on 20 pounds of muscle, and like eating that much food is difficult. And trying to figure out what foods are going to fit your macronutrients every day is also hard, especially when you're trying to do it on the fly, and especially if you're not already someone that is a consistent eater, which is probably the number one thing that I hear. But you absolutely can make the change. There's just some things that you might need to implement, like tracking through an app. You can hire a coach like me, where you can get guidance on, suggested foods that you could add into your diet to hit those macronutrients, as well as getting the app to track your food, which is inside of the Squad app. But here's some of the big tips that I would recommend for most people. So give yourself a list of like 2 to 4 proteins, vegetables, grains, veggies, fruits, fats, and these are going to be like your go-to. So you have a list of all of these foods that you can eat, and you just mix and match every single week. You can cook those meals in bulk, pre-package them, and put them in the fridge and freezer. If time is something that is not on your side, but you have the finances to work on your nutrition, a meal prep company would be really helpful, because then they take all of the cooking, the cleaning, the prep work out of it, and you just put the meal in the microwave or the oven and you go for it. For people that are on the go, you want those on the go meals, those snacks, those ideas, protein bars, shakes, wraps, burritos. Maybe there's, 2 or 3 spots that that are healthier that you can go to if you're ever out on the road. Or maybe you keep some granola bars, a protein bar inside of the glove box as you're moving around. The main thing I want you to remember about fitting your macros is that proper planning prevents poor performance. If you plan for the week ahead, the next couple of weeks, and you just even a basic idea of what you want to have as your meal prep, it's going to give you the leg up when it comes to sticking with your goals and actually putting on size. The number 2 issue that happens is hunger, and not in the way that you think. Usually, when you go on a muscle gain diet, you become less hungry. That's just your body sending new signals, trying to find its balance or homeostasis. And tons of people will ruin their progress because they undereat. They're like, I'm not hungry, so they just don't eat anything. And then your body needs that muscle, your body needs that fuel in order to support the muscle that it's trying to build. So you can be ready for this when those hunger signals, you stop feeling as hungry. So eating more calorically dense foods are going to be your friend when you feel less hungry. So you can have fattier meats, you can have more oils when you're cooking. For your carbohydrates, you can do white pasta, you can do white rice instead of brown rice, you can do regular pasta instead of maybe a whole wheat, you can have less filling veggies, and then an easy switch is having more grains instead of fruit, because you can have like a pile of grains, quinoa, you can do rice, potatoes, something like that, as opposed to having like 7 apples or 8 bananas. Like, you're not doing that. So eating more tasty foods is another great way to help you out when you feel less hungry, because sometimes those super tasty, maybe a little bit more palatable foods are easier to eat, and higher amounts when you're trying to put on size. And then just raid the kitchen cabinets, get your salts, your spices, season your meals. You could have the same meal, but season it 5 different ways, and now you've got 5 different meals. So make that, chicken salad, make that chicken and rice, make that steak and potatoes, make it taste better by digging into your spice cabinets. Number three is bottom line, eat something, even if you're not hungry. Skipping your meal, like I said in the beginning, is going to be the death of your muscle gain. If you skip your meals, you won't have enough fuel to continue the progress that you're making. Even getting your calories through drinking, like liquid diets, liquid meals, mass gainers, your protein shakes are going to be way better than not eating anything at all. So kind of identify those times throughout your day. Maybe it's something a little later. Usually most people, they're like, I'm not hungry when I wake up in the morning. That would be a really great time to kind of get that shake in, to bump your calories, get that fuel inside, and really set you up for success when it comes to putting on muscle. The last challenge that people usually face is the body fat gain. And in most cases, it's going to happen. You're going to put on some body fat. The good news is it's super simple to take it off when you're done. Listen, when you're finished with your muscle gain phase, that's just like a cost of the game. You're going to put on body fat as you put on mass overall. So some tips if you want to stay on the leaner side would be aiming for the lower end of weekly gain. So instead of trying to shoot for 1 pound, 1 1/4, drop it down to about 1/4 of a pound per week. That's going to limit the amount of body fat that you can put on. And then you're going to aim for the lower end of your muscle gain duration, right? So instead of going 12, 16, 20 weeks, you can go 8 to 12 weeks, keep it shorter. When you're going through this muscle gain phase, eat healthier foods. Don't cheat on your diet. Don't cheat your brains off. If you're going to have that meal that's outside of your diet, make it smaller. Don't make it happen as often. Train hard and get those higher volumes in relative to your abilities and your strength. You want to stay physically active outside of the gym, whether it's going for a walk, getting outside, swimming in the pool, something that's going to keep you active so that you're continuing to burn, that you're keeping your body using the fuel in the right way. Because if you're just lifting, but you're not really being active, you will still put on mass, but then you're more likely to have more body fat follow behind it. Last thing is just reminding yourself that this is temporary, and the excess body fat will come off later. It's just a cost of the game, right? So those are the 3 biggest challenges that I hear clients talk about when they're going through a muscle gain phase. So fitting in those right macronutrients, not being hungry, and then the inevitable body fat gain. But if you can overcome those, so watch this video again, see which challenge you might be facing and see how you can overcome that challenge. That way, when you get through your muscle gain phase, you can go into a mini cut or maintenance and get off that excess body fat. Squad, make sure we watch this video again. Learn how to overcome the challenges that you might face during a muscle gain phase. Make sure you continue doing your workouts, continue tracking your meals inside of the Squad app. I will see you all inside. Remember, it's not hard. It's simply fitness.